It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is Fury Legacy, and this is my summit guide. Let's go. All right, let's get right into it. The summit bundle this week is a 1.3 million bucks bundle. You get the Nissan GTR Nismo street car, the Honda Civic Type R street car, and the Honda S2000 Motorfest Edition street car. You're going to need a couple of additional vehicles. I recommend the R32 in Street 2, the S2000 Kamehameha Hadar Edition, and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Now, in addition to that, there is one race where I use the S2000 Kamehameha Hadar Edition, but you're also more than welcome to use the NSX. I think the NSX is a little bit more wild, but if you can handle that car and you can do well with it, I think you can get a better score with that one on that particular race. I'll mention it when we get to it in this summit, but I believe it's the very last race, the 6th race, where you have the option to use any Honda, and I went with the S2000. I think it's a little bit more controllable, but yeah, you can use the NSX if you'd like. All right, in addition to that, you're going to need a score breaker part set for Street 2, and you're going to need a Nitro Chemist set for Street 1. For that one, the affix you're going to need are Pure and Frenetic. If you don't have those, then you need to re-affix those parts because it does matter on this speed trap. So anyways, here are the pro settings, and then we'll get into the first events. All right, the first event is called Seeing Red, and it's with the Summit car, the brand new Mazda RX-7. This is going to be a cool car. It actually feels pretty good for this Summit. It's not fully upgraded, I don't think, and we're going to need to see how it feels in the grand races, but the thing gutters like crazy. It oversteers. It feels good. Anyways, let's get into the event. There's a few different things that you're going to want to know for this one. First off, Celeste sucks. She likes to push you off-road here at the beginning, so I do recommend turning down your difficulty to 1 or turning it up to 5 and then, you know, going behind her or either in front of her or behind. Anyways, this first turn here on the left, you're going to cut really heavy, go straight through the walls there. As you can see, you don't even need to get close to the checkpoint at all. Now, the rest of this is going to be gutter turns. You're going to need to hit these gutters down this hill. As you see, I'm not even that good at it, and I still got a decent time. So let me fast forward to where there's maybe some more cuts. All right, so right here on this turn, you're going to cut the corner on the left after this checkpoint. So you're going to have to control your speed, do some braking here, downshifting, and then cut this corner here on the left. It doesn't make really a lot of sense to go all the way to the corner there. And that's honestly it. Not a lot of tricks with this one. Just make sure you hit your gutter turns and you'll be okay. Let's move on. All right, the next event is called Crossing the Red Line, and this one I recommend the R32 Skyline. This one is going to do the best for you. It's the fastest Nissan in Street 2, so there you go. All right, let's get to the cuts. All right, the first one happens here on this little like zigzag turn on the mini map. You can see it here. This one on the left-hander, you're going to cut through the brick wall. You do not have to go around this at all. Just cut through the brick wall, use a little bit of NOS when you jump there, and you're good to go. This is a very long straight shortly after this, so you're going to want to use your NOS in 5th gear to try to get up to speed. All right, right here, when you finish this S turn, you can actually finish wide and go across the grass. It's definitely a straighter line for the next turn. So go next to this tree and on the left of that tree, then cut over to the right. It's a much faster way to get down that hill. And after you do that, you're pretty much there. You can see on the mini map, it's a straight shot to the finish. So let's move on. All right, the next event is called Painting the Town Red. And for this one, you're using the S2000. I recommend the Kamehameha Hadar Edition, but you can use whatever, you know, whichever S2K you feel more comfortable with. Either this one or the, what is it called? The Red Tiger, Red Panther. Either one of those will do. They're pretty good. So anyways, let's get into the cuts on this one. All right, so there's not really a lot of cuts on this one, but the very tricky corner is right here at the bottom of the hill. And for this one, you're going to want to either use the handbrake and the NOS trick to make the car flick like you're going to see in this clip here. Like that, and drift the corner. Or you can actually just full send and reset this corner. So by doing this, you're going to save a little bit of time. You'll probably save at least a second by doing the handbrake NOS flick thing. But if you can't get that, resetting this corner is absolutely possible. I did it on my first run. I ended up with a second less by doing it this way, and I think it's fine. Like either way, it's gonna be okay, but taking it normally, definitely not fast. So I slowed down a little bit and then went through it. Now the difference between this and resetting is there's a little bit of a delay when you reset, and when you reset, you are basically put at about 60 to 70 miles per hour. And as you can see, I got through the corner at about 80 to 90 miles per hour. So you're going a lot faster, you're continuing momentum, and you're not actually like stopping time while you reset. So anyways, either way, it works. Actually, there is one more cut coming up. So here on this turn, I go left onto the pavement, onto the sidewalk, and then I cut to the right of this can. The car jumps a little bit, but it's still pretty stable. So anyways, that's what ended up working out for me. And then you're at the finish. All right, let's move on. All right, the next event is called In the Red Zone, and this is with the Civic. This is the least enjoyable race in the Summit. I really didn't like this at all. It's mostly because the car just is terrible. It has no top speed at all, and it's kind of like a mostly top speed course. Anyways, let's see if we can find any cuts in this one. All right, so on this first left-hander, I actually went to the left of the wall here, the block wall. I just kept going left, and I avoided the wall the whole time, went to the left of the checkpoint flag. I just felt like that was a little bit of a nicer way, a little straighter way to take that corner. All right, and then here at about 1.29 miles left, or 1.28 miles left, you can see this mini map just so you can recognize it. But you can cut across to the right here. I cut across pretty early. It's just a smoother way to take the corner. It's definitely faster there, a little corner cut. And that's it. You're at the finish. All right, the next one is called Caught Red-Handed. For this one, we're using the GTR Nismo. And this one's kind of interesting. There is one section that's, you've got a little bit of an option. And I don't think my route worked out that well. I think there's one part of it that you can, anyway, I'll explain it when we get there. When you get out of these tunnels, you can cut this corner on the right. However, I actually found it to be a little bit faster just to use this gutter here. I didn't use it in this clip, but when I reran it, I used it in the gutter, and it was a much faster way to take that corner. So there's not really any reason to cut it. All right, here's where you have a little bit of an option. So at this point, I go to the right, I go off-road and cut this big long corner. However, you can actually use your NOS and do the wall ride in the tunnel. So guys like Simji told me he did the wall ride in the tunnel. Seemed like he got a lot of speed for that. And from my perspective, I like this cut across the dirt. However, I didn't get the bounce that I was looking for, and I'll probably go back and try to re-optimize this. There's a couple of little rocks here that actually make the car jump a little, and you can use air NOS to really get yourself across this dirt, although it might not be that much faster. So you can experiment with both ways, see which way works out better for you, but this one is kind of like an RNG. So notice I went off, the car jumps a little bit, but it wasn't the jump I was hoping for. There is a better jump there, and then I just regained with the road here right after the tunnel. Now, aside from that, that's it, man. That's pretty much it. So just got to use those gutters, do your best to stay on the road. All right, the last event is called Red Sky at Night. And for this one, this is the one where you can use the S2000 or the Honda NSX. The Honda NSX, I think, has a little bit more potential if you can handle that car, but it is a little bit more wild. So, you know, whichever one you can drive better, S2000 or the NSX, those are the cars you're going to use. So for this one, I use the S2000, and there's really only two cuts on this entire race. There's a lot of guttering, and this is a very, very skill-based course. Skill is going to determine a lot on this one, and that's unfortunate because I don't really have a lot I can tell you. So let me show you the two cuts that are on this one, and then, you know, I can wish you luck and hopefully you can do it. All right, this corner here at 58%, you can cut this corner. The grass is fairly stable, like there's not a lot of bumps in it. In this clip, I didn't cut it, but I should have, and I think I left some time on the table here. It's a really small thing, but it makes a big difference because it allows you to continue speed as opposed to having to slow down and hit the gutter. So this one I hit the gutter instead, but you can actually just cut across the grass like as soon as you can after the trees, just cut across. Now I chose to wall ride this because it did give me a little more speed, but it's kind of a weird move and it doesn't really work all the time. Just keep in mind, if you are going to wall ride, you need to keep the wheels pointed up the wall. That's the like main trick with it. Keep the wheels pointed up the wall so the car wants to stay on the wall. Now the other cut is here at the gas station, 68%. You're going to cut to the right and just sort of hop back on the road. It's kind of an easy one. And that's honestly it for this one. All right, I'll let my feats play out as always so you can see exactly how I did this. The escape and the speed trap are obviously the most difficult ones. As long as you have score breaker for the slalom, you're going to get a good score. So anyways, let's get to those.
All right, here are my final scores. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a DM on Discord or Instagram. I read every single message that comes my way. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.